Hey, it's Nay, and welcome back to Nay's Little Garden. So it has been way too long since I have uploaded a video to Nay's Little Garden. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I got very overwhelmed very quickly. We have had some major successes and definitely some fails, for sure. However, the season, it's halfway through August. We still have a lot of growing to do, and I just pulled out a bunch of tomato plants I could have left in there to get more tomatoes, but I'm gonna be real, we have been swimming in tomatoes. So these next few videos are gonna be me talking about specific things: tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, stuff like that, beans, in which I had some pretty good to amazing results, and there's a high chance I'm going to grow them again. Save for one that I cannot, for the life of me, find the seed packet, and I think it was one of those plants, those seed packets that I finished off, and I have to find the video, go through the video, trying to find what seed this is, because I have to grow this. So let's hop, skip, jump right into it. All right, here I actually have a few of the tomatoes, because the first round, I want to say the first wave, right? This is going to hurt a lot of people in their chest. A lot of them went to waste because I used some to make sauces and roast for the tomatoes and stuff. And then the other ones I kept on a tray thinking I was going to have time to record, and they rotted. Guys, I can't have that happen ever again. So what did I learn from that? I learned from that, if I end up not having I'm going to sit down now, I just have to freeze them. Because I have some tomatoes I'm going to discuss. I don't have a tomato for you because they're in freezer bags in my freezer, right? I have to just start freezing stuff because it does defrost. I'm on my era of learning the defrosting process and how great it could be, like even with like bread and stuff, but that's another conversation. So I said I was going to get into canning this year. The year is not done, so who knows what the fall may hold for me. But my kids have been home, and taking that time to still teach my children, still be with my children, be in the garden, do my scented Nay, because I have another YouTube channel as well as a TikTok that has over 20,000 people on there who watch me. So it's just been trying to just jump everywhere. So anyway, I said all that to say we're gonna hop into this tomatoes that I have had good success or amazing success with, and I'm probably going to go ahead and grow them again. So let's do the ones that, what on earth happened? This was insane. The first thing I'm going to say right here is I will grow sun sugar tomatoes forever. I'm going to order some more of these. I don't know if I'm going to specifically order from Haas or anywhere else. Wherever I can get my hands on these, I will in fact order from them. This was packed in 2024. So I had these last year. I have a tomato here for you. When I tell you this is prolific, I feel like it's not enough. The way this grew in my garden, you would have thought the fairies came at nighttime and cultivated this plant for me. I think I planted 2 or 3 of these plants, and I honestly, it was one too many. What does that mean? I roasted so many of these. I made sauce. I think there's this thing with people who are definitely much more into the gardening experience than me, who talk about sauce tomatoes. And if you can, don't listen to what I'm about to say, but if you use your tomatoes fresh, like you use them to automatically just cook with, or you use your tomatoes after freezing them, go ahead and get the Sun Sugar tomato. This was one of the first ripe tomatoes in my garden. The yellow patio choice is another one that was the first I harvested. The only reason why I put this one over that one is if you have a smaller space, the yellow patio choice is that girl for you. If you have any type of actual growing space, this will grow and 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 grow. And it grows even amongst my squashes, because some things didn't get to flourish because of other things. I love this. We're gonna keep it moving, but this was the GOAT. The sauce that came from this is not gonna be tomato sauce color, right? It came out more orangey. My kids still ate that ish down bad. And if you wanted to include other vegetables like carrots for nutrition purposes for your kids or for yourself, they're definitely not gonna see the color change because it's already orange. So my youngest and I was eating this like candy. Like, he would come out in the garden with me and he would just be popping them in the mouth. I'd be popping in my mouth. One thing I did notice about kids though is if you just don't dramatize something, they're more likely to just do it. But anyway, yeah. Another one that shook me to my core and I also used for sauce was the black strawberry tomato. This was another massive tomato sauce for me, as well as I have a lot of these I'm putting in my freezer. I don't know if I have enough for my liking. There's definitely at least like 6 seeds in here, but if I get a 50% success rate, right? Because this was for 2025. Because let's just say only 5 of them grow and then 3 of them make it. Actually, that would be enough, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to be isolating stuff so that I can save the seeds. We'll see how that goes. But this was insane, and they are so cool. Some of these came out so black. This, and I was just looking through these and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Actually, I can just tie them together. So this was super, super prolific, and looking at this in the garden was so impressive to me. This and the Queen of the Night tomatoes, they look awfully similar in the garden. The difference to my eye from the black strawberry and the Queen of the Night is the Queen of the Nights were a little bigger. I.e. kind of this size. This is not a Queen of the Night. I'm just trying to give you a little example. Kind of that size versus this with the black strawberry. The taste, funny enough, wasn't that different to me. There was less of this Queen of the Night, but they're bigger. And there was more of this, but they're smaller. They're both fabulous. I think I'm going to continue to grow these year after year after year. And I need to order some more of these. They just did so good in my climate. They did so good with the type of grower I was this year. Because my kids they will be going to summer camp moving forward. But the darker tomatoes, I feel like could take a little bit more neglect than like the lighter tomatoes, i.e. the white beef steak, great white beef steak. I don't think I'm gonna ever grow that tomato again. If I do, it will be thrown into some random bag and not taken seriously. Or the, oh my gosh, I hate saying this, but the Plus, Lemon Boy Plus. I got a few of those, but not enough for the amount I grew. So whatever. Anyway, moving on. So that was those two. This, hold on, because I want to show you the one I have actually to show you in person right now. The other two, I also was quite impressed with, and it's one of these two last that I have here to show you. It is called, so the other two I'm just gonna show you is the Paul Robinson and the Thornburn Terracotta. I couldn't really tell you the massive differences looking at the ones growing in my garden. I'm sure if I really, okay. So the Paul Robeson is what I have to show you. This is probably one of my uglier Paul Robesons, but like I said, after those spoiled in the first batch, I've had a second wave, and I'm in my third wave of stuff right now that I'm pulling. I'm very quick to start tossing stuff in the freezer on a tray, let them freeze, and then put them in a freezer bag, suck out the air, and toss them in the freezer. So this one is one that I just picked. The top is a little but I'll probably use this for fresh, but I like these. My husband and I have been, this is the Paul Robeson, I said that right? Okay. My husband and I have been testing the tomatoes as they kind of come in for flavor-wise. The ones I'm about to talk about after this wave, which is my really amazing one, are ones I did good, and I'll probably grow again. I want to make an honorable mention to the champagne bubbles, because I don't think I have it in the, not champagne bubbles, the Berry's Crazy Cherry. I have it in the really good growing one, but I'm not sure if I'm going to grow it again. It was supremely prolific. The flavor, we're going to get into it. Anyway, the Paul Robeson and the Thornburn Terracotta, to me, had very similar flavor. They were more on the savory side, and that could just be because I'm not super attuned to quite the nicheness of every tomato, but they were quite savory. A little salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I just ate this sliced. It was so good. It was so good. And I didn't grow a lot of these. I feel like I grew a lot of starts with them, and a lot of them maybe didn't make it or something, but there was only like 2 plants of each, I feel like, or something, or maybe even 1 plant of one of these, and they grew like 8 to 12 tomatoes on each continually. So I will definitely be growing. Oh no, we have enough Thornburn Terracotta, and we have enough these. Okay, I'm super excited to grow these again, and I think because this year was my first year of really starting a bunch, I made a lot of mistakes that I will not be repeating, okay, next year in 2026. But I love that. Right before we go to my good ones, I want to talk about this one. This is the one I was trying to tell you guys. I can't find the seed packet. I think I finished it off. I am on M.I. Gardener's website. I might not have gotten this from M.I. Gardener's website, but it's just easier to scan through this one. I believe this to be the pink Oxheart tomato. I have an orange Oxheart tomato seed packet, but it's not orange. This looked pink to y'all, right? And the ones I have harvested before this looked more like this size. They were huge. These took forever, and I'm only about to hit my second wave with these, not third, because they take a long time. I am not mad when the size of the tomatoes come out like this. I am also supremely obsessed with the size of this tomato. This is one of those pretty girl tomatoes, and she tastes just fine. This is also something for me personally that if I had to be like, I need a bigger size in order to be able to make more sauce with less tomatoes, this would be what I would reach for to grow, because they taste absolutely delicious. They're very pretty, and when I tell you it was muggy and humid this year, it was muggy and humid, and I felt like a lot of things just had issues, and then my watering wasn't that A1, so things burst. And so these tomatoes that I'm showing you also didn't do nearly as much bursting as other stuff. Like, I probably will never grow the pineapple tomato again. I know, I probably just triggered some people. It was not a good time for me. But this pink Oxheart tomato is that girl. And I just had to show you a second one of it because it was one of these 2 sizes. But it's just so pretty and good, and it grew pretty well. And I didn't grow enough of these that survived maybe, and so that made me sad. I'll definitely grow more of that. So quickly on to the ones that were good, but not as amazing as the other ones I just spoke about, and or the flavoring was off for me. So I already mentioned the Berry's Crazy Cherry. I have so many seeds of this. This is insane, and I'm thoroughly impressed by Wild Boar Farms. I have so many seeds, but I'm probably gonna buy, just a few of the other tomatoes because I'm gonna want to try them out from there, because this is insane how prolific this plant was for me. My husband and I were not the biggest fans of the taste when it wasn't cooked. It is almost lemon. Like, it was so tart and zesty sharp tasting, and I don't know if I did something wrong with to not help the flavors, or if that's just how it tastes. Could you do something to make this better? Most definitely. You could probably make a sauce with this. I have the next round coming in because I planted way too many of these. So when that comes in, which will probably be the end of this month or beginning of September, what I'll probably go ahead and do is make a sauce with this, because you can add brown sugar and other flavorings to your sauce, which I naturally do anyway. I just felt like I didn't need to do as much when I had this, and it has so sweet. Anyway, and you can probably make this work. And if you're more concerned about productivity, Barry's Crazy Cherry is not here to play with you at all. The Consoluto Genovese. The reason why this is in good but not great category is because I am just getting them. And a good amount of them rotted before I could pull them because I put way too much stuff on that arch trellis. I'm probably going to have another one, a smaller arch trellis next year, because the arch trellis, I said this before and I'm going to say it again, was my best decision ever of this year pertaining to my garden. The Consoluto Genovese that's coming in now, these ribbed tomatoes are some of my favorite to look at. I know, why am I saying that? Look at, girl, come on now. But they taste, it's a red tomato. They taste just fine, and I just think they're so pretty. I also found difficulties with some of the other ribbed tomatoes in terms of rotting in some spots, and this one did not have that. Now, they are definitely small in comparison to the other ribbed ones. So they were giving, you hear my picnic gum yelling? Flatter and, well, maybe about this size, but a little flatter. But the ribbing is just absolutely gorgeous. And I've had people in my community asking for some stuff, some produce, and I would love to give them something like the black strawberry, the Queen of Night, the Consoluto Genovese, and these heart-shaped tomatoes, right? Because they're all definitely edible and delicious, but so appealing to the eye. And that's just kind of where I am, and that's how I make gardening fun for me. But I have tons of seeds for this, and I have people now. I helped host a class for talking about an event talking about gardening, and I intend to host some more with my friend in my community, because a lot of people have the space, or we have the space to provide to do these things, and this is just a great one. You just have to make sure you can keep it up on the trellis. What I was saying is I had too many things on that trellis, and this is one that the squash plant said F you and get off of my trellis, and so it leaned over, and so some of the ones that were touching the ground rotted, but they were good. And when they get super ripe, so juicy. I am obsessed with the look of the pink fairy board tomatoes. I did not get a lot of these, but I did not start a lot of these, and I feel as if I'm growing some that I know are super growers, right, and I'm growing a decent amount of those, I can give some space to ones that perhaps are not the most super grow-esque in the nation, but are still gonna do the little ting and and they're cool looking. Is a pink fairy boar. Did I like eating this raw in my mouth? The exterior is definitely more like a matte furry thing, as opposed to, you see like the shininess of these. It's a toss-up. Did I like putting this in my brown stew chicken? Absolutely. I'm not sure if there was like a massive flavor change, because that was my brown stew chicken. I also made my own first homemade sauce, like the brown sauce. So I like half burnt brown sugar and mix it in with water and stuff and whatever. So that could also play a role, but I just think it worked, and I just like the look of it. And they came out like smaller, right? So in my brown stew chicken and like my whatever chickens that I put my tomatoes in, I don't like slicing big tomatoes because I don't use a massive amount of tomatoes. I like to use more of my sweet peppers, which will be its own videos. My peppers, wait, we have to talk about that. Anyway, there's plenty of this. I will grow this again because I think this is absolutely freaking awesome. I gave some plants to my mother, and I probably would give her one of these plants next year because it was so cool. Moving on, almost done, guys. One more after this. This is the German pink tomato. I did not know her swagger. A Bavarian origin, this heirloom made its U.S. debut in 1883. Gorgeous, massive pink fruits, extremely versatile, excellent for canning, freezing, slicing, and juicing. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of my heirlooms sucked. I made like I don't know if it was this persimmon tomato, but it's super orange and so cool looking. They split, like, you see these little splitting areas? They split so deep, and they were not even outside. So we got random spouts of a lot of rain. So if things split, I understood. This was in my polytunnel, and it still split like and I'm very upset. It took up a lot of space that it did not need to take, because it did. It grew a lot, and I didn't want to put most of those tomatoes in my mouth. And I felt like I probably will be very shy to grow that ever again. This one, on the other hand, I just harvested the tomato. When they said massive, take it seriously. The tomato is like this big. Holy Hannah, I'm thoroughly impressed. I will be growing this again. And there is most definitely a difference, right? The pink, when they say pink, they mean pink. Because these regular red ones, that's not what they talking about. Even when those get ripe, they're still pink. And this is pink, and I love that for me. Somebody who watched one of my videos said that they hated to grow the Dr. Weiss tomato. I don't remember the yellow Dr. Weiss tomato. I don't remember the why of it, and they did offer other tomatoes. I didn't end up getting it because I think one was like the Lillian something tomato. I didn't end up being able to buy that, although it's still on my radar, and hopefully I'll be able to get it next year or the end of this year for next year. But I did not have any issues. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. Some of them did split for certain. This was a tomato I had outside in that tomato alley. And so the random spurts of rain did kind of botch some of this. And some of the plants, I didn't properly put enough support. And so they leaned over onto the polytunnel. And when the polytunnel heated, it kind of bursted some of them, right? So I put this in the good, because the ones I did taste, I actually like this. I thought this, because it's yellow, and maybe from the Berries Crazy, it scared me. I thought it was going to be super tart, acidic, and it was not. It is a little sweeter. This was sweeter, but also something in there was not sweet. Like, I enjoyed this, and I also like that it was yellow. So those are the tomatoes. Oh, I cannot find what tomato this is. I'm going to show you. This is not the rainbow tomato, because it looked like the rainbow tomato. This is another tomato, and I cannot figure out what tomato this is. This also didn't do too bad. These two came off the same plant. It's not a rainbow or a pineapple. It's something else, and I can't find it either, but I have to, it might be like a striped tomato, something of the nature. The tomatoes came out looking more like this, like a squashed, like it was attempting to be ribbed, or like this, which is like a pretty circular tomato, but small. Both of them, they taste the same, came off the same plant, and this also had a decent amount of growth. This was on the tomato alley as well, and it did decent. It did decent, and if it had better ability to grow up something, I think it would have done even better. So I'm gonna find out what this is and grow it. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about today. Let me know how your tomatoes are going. I grew so many other tomatoes. They did okay, or they did garbage. So that's why I want to talk about these specific tomatoes. Thank you so much for watching this whole video. I'm thoroughly interested. Let's talk down in the comment section about the tomatoes you grew. Did we grow any of the similarities? What was your opinions on the tomatoes this growing season? And I know every growing season is different, so I'm not 100% throwing anything out, but these are the ones I'm probably gonna grow again next year. Anyway, hope I see you in my next video. Bye bye.